We make anything to do with an aluminium tube, from a broom handle to a small ferrule that goes into water bottles for hamsters, to portable staging systems, equipment for golf courses. So we've got our core JDR, and then we've got some smaller brands that bolt onto the side of that. So what we would like to do is maintain the core JDR business and grow it slightly, but then develop these small additional mini businesses on the side of that. I'm certainly not arrogant, and I don't think that I know how to do everything. So yeah, I knew that we needed, if I wanted to get from where we were to turning over much more, I guess the only term I can think of is that I needed someone to hold my hand. And I've had many calls from similar people, similar agencies that want to send someone in to tell us how to do the job properly, and I've always been very sceptical. The first meeting went very well. I kind of liked the advice that Bob gave. Couldn't argue with it. I suppose looking back, I thought I'll give it a shot for 6 months. I think we had a factory manager when Bob started with us, effectively, but because it was run so unprofessional, it was more of a supervisor's position. And it was my mother that did the accounts with one person to help, and then it was me. So that was pretty much the structure of the company. And so Bob brought advice to suggest getting a proper structure. Obviously, Dan Cumming was one of the first cogs in developing that structure.
Bob had joined David just shortly before I had come along. And in a way, the timing was good, because Bob was able to work with me and David and say, look, these are the things that need to start happening. I suppose the things I had to learn quickly, and with Bob's mentoring as well, was you have to work as quickly as you can, but not faster than the organisation can bear.
A lot of things that Bob says, a lot of suggestions he gives us and pointers he gives us, the chances are we might end up coming up with the same solution ourselves, but to hear it from someone that's been there and done it and has seen the pitfalls and has been there, it's useful. There's been a few times when, you know, we've listened to what he's said and we've said thanks, and we've gone maybe, you know, done what we was going to do anyway. And obviously that's fine with Bob. He's given us his opinion. But I'd like to think that the vast majority of what Bob talks to us about, 95-98% of what he talks to us about, we certainly try and take it on board. When we're having meetings and we're talking about new products or we're talking about tricky situations, Bob's name will always crop up. What would Bob suggest? Let's give Bob a call. So he is part and parcel of the business, very much so.
So one of the things David doesn't have time to do is keep me busy. So some of my projects are really coming from Bob, and I'm executing them with Dave's knowledge and approval, but I'm referring to Bob a lot during that time to sort of make sure that what we're doing is the right thing to do.
Bob offers the reassurance, and sometimes that's what you need. If you've come up with a decision yourself and you're not quite sure, and Bob says, yeah, that's the right path to take, then...
I think the thing with Bob is we know that we can ask him anything, that he will always give us his honest, considered opinion. He'll never take it personally if we decide to go a different way, but he doesn't hold back. He does it professionally, he makes it clear the basis for his decision, and then he supports us in whatever we do.
He has been a great help. We wouldn't have got to the point that we're at without Bob's help. We would have grown naturally, but without Bob's assistance, then we wouldn't be exactly where we are now, that's for certain.